morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I wanted to start off the vlog by saying hi. Welcome to everyone who's new. Welcome if you've been here for a while. Welcome if you've been here for 5 minutes. I just want to say good morning and hello. Happy Sunday. I'm in a great mood. Yesterday was Saturday and it poured all day. I mean, it was raining on and off the entire day and I actually loved it. I stayed at home. I was productive, not super productive. Like I didn't do a bunch, but I got some stuff done. I did the dishes, which is always the bane of my existence. I hate doing the dishes. And I just honestly hung out. Like I watched a lot of YouTube, I read, I hung out with the chickens and ducks, and I got my first duck egg yesterday. You guys would have seen me already make it this morning, but I got my first duck egg yesterday, or duck eggs. I got 4, which means Dottie, my older girl, my older Pekin that has the leg issue, which you can see it, but she does not act like it. She's always running around causing havoc everywhere. But that means she's been laying for about 4 days and I just haven't noticed. But I will say this week has been so... I filmed a Halloween vlog midweek and then I uploaded midweek, and I'm also going to upload Sunday, which is today. So it's been a lot of planning, but also filming and just, just a lot. So I just haven't noticed. When I get them up in the morning, the sun's, the sun's rising, so there's a bit of light out. I don't let them out when it's super dark out, even when they start crowing, because I don't know, I'm scared that there's still stuff lurking out in the morning darkness. I let them out, and honestly, I think I've just been so preoccupied with getting them up, getting them fresh water, food, and then I either go to work or I'm home inside working. And then by the time I put them up, the chickens put themselves away. And sometimes the ducks put themselves away, or they just start like marching in when they see me, which is great that they've learned that from the chickens. But it's usually too dark for me to really investigate the coop aside from the exterior. Every night and every morning I always look at the perimeter of the coop to make sure nothing tried to get in, all that. But looking inside of the coop, I don't know. She's been laying for like 4 days. It says ducks lay about 1 to 2 a day. So on par with chickens. Chickens lay, I believe, 1 every 24 to 26 hours. I can't remember exactly what number it was, but about that time. So 1 a day, and that's when they're kind of like high performing. There's also going to be days where they don't. I have 4 girls and I get about 3 to 4 eggs a day. So even with 3, that's still a lot of eggs. So now I have duck eggs. But I want to go over the 3 books that I read, physical books, and then we can go over the audiobooks. The first one I read, and this is an October read if I'm not mistaken, yes, is No Child of Mine by Michelle Geraldis. I gave this one a 2.5 out of 5. I think I'll land at like 2. One thing I really liked was the letters between Isabel and Anna, or Anna. I don't know why, but I feel like it added an extra layer to the story that wasn't just the main character Essie and her husband. It added a little bit of foreshadowing, actually a lot of foreshadowing if you could kind of catch the hints, and also like a bit of darkness that was more in line with maybe a non-spooky or non-haunted darkness that played a really good hand in the actual spookiness of the main story, or I don't want to say present day, but kind of like the present day story in this book. I enjoyed this. I don't think it was much more than a 2.5, to be completely honest. It didn't scare me, creep me out. I do wish the ending was more thought out in terms of the conclusion. I feel like it was not rushed, but I feel like it dropped off. Not that it lost the plot, but kind of like a build up to a meh. And I think that's why I just kind of gave it like a 2. It wasn't anything spectacular. I do think it's a solid read though, as like a 2-star. I wouldn't say not to read it. If you see this at like Goodwill, Half Price Books, because you guys know I love a good thrifted book, I would say pick it up, give it a read. You might love this if you love that type of kind of sprinkle of darkness throughout without needing like a big, horrific, scary ending that I think the inner thriller reader in me just craves. But overall, solid read. I gave it a 2 out of 5, highest 2.5 out of 5. The next book I read, physical book, was In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. And I will say, I can't remember what I gave you. I have my phone app. You guys know I talk about this in every vlog that I talk about books. It's just called Reading List, and it just helps me keep track of all the books that I have in my library, on my bookshelf, all the ratings that I gave it. I gave this book a 2-star, and I have some notes about it. Yeah, I said it's solid but not scary. Honestly, I was expecting this book to terrify me or creep me out in a way that Like, I'm listening to Bird Box on audio. I've already watched the movie, but I'm listening to it on audio, and I can't really listen to it late at night because it kind of creeps me out. I think because I've already seen the movie, I can envision some of the parts that the author or the main character is talking about, and I'm like, no, no, no. After the sun goes down, I'm like, okay, we gotta listen to something else. I was expecting kind of like that feeling of, oh, I'm only gonna read this like right now during the day when the light's out, because I just simply can't. It wasn't like that for me at all. I mean, I don't know, I was expecting just a lot more. And this being my first Ruth Ware book, especially with the quotes on the back talking about like, oh my gosh, read the book now before bed at your own risk. Try to guess how sinister this plot can be. It's not that sinister. Like, when I think of sinister when it comes to like a scary book or a scary thriller book, I'm thinking creepy, scary. If I could guess the ending, it was only because I was thinking like the worst possible scenario, not because it was so easy and like, duh. I don't really have much feedback. I didn't like the car ride game that you'll see. It's not a spoiler or anything. I just thought it was drug out and stupid, to be completely honest. I was just thinking, this isn't realistic. None of this is realistic in the sense that why would you invite, I don't know. It's just, oh, and I did have a note and I want to read it verbatim because I feel like this would have been good. I don't think this is much of a spoiler. I said didn't really lend themselves to the plot and could have been left out. They didn't, I don't know. In my opinion, I thought they could have been left out of the story, and I'm gonna make sure that this isn't like a spoiler. If it is, I'm gonna cut it out and you guys are like, what are you talking about? House and plan to blame his, oh, I can't. It's a spoiler. Okay. I just thought the twist was gonna be a lot different, and the twist that I was thinking that was gonna happen was gonna be not phenomenal, but like solid. Like, okay, Miss Ruth, thank you. The twist at the end in the book, like the actual twist, I was like, that's not really worth, I don't know. It was my first book of like true what I thought was gonna be scary. But yeah, so 2 out of 5, honestly, probably a 1.5 out of 5, but I was being generous. Nah. The third book I read, The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I'm gonna admit something so silly right now. It took me a few pages to realize, even with the cover like this, it was not talking about a cabin in the woods type of cabin. It was talking about a cabin on a cruise ship. And y'all see this cover, right? Why was I thinking it was a cabin in the woods? Because it was like, if it's gonna be a scary book, of course it's a cabin in the woods. That's the scariest plot you can think of. You're all alone in a cabin. So it took me a minute. And once I realized it was a cruise ship, I was like, oh, that is actually kind of scary, because imagine something creepy or crazy happening, but you're not only secluded, you're secluded on water. At least a cabin in the woods, if something happens and like someone's attacking the cabin, maybe you can run out and get to your car, get to your vehicle and go. Or worst case, you are on foot and just running. I feel like that's a better chance. I can at least climb a tree and wait it out until the morning time. But water, child, just get me while I'm on the boat. Whatever your plan is, just come get me. I'm not jumping off this ship. Which our main character does not think the same. She didn't really jump, but anyway, I forgot what I gave this. Let me see. I cannot remember. Okay, I gave this a 1 out of 5. I have no notes about this. I just gave it a 1 out of 5. Well, take my ratings with a grain of salt. You guys might really enjoy these books that I'm giving like a 1 or 2. You might have like a 5 out of 5 rating, and I might have a 5 out of 5 rating and you're like, what was that? So that was October for the physical books that I read. And then for October, I listened to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 October audiobooks. So the first one I listened to was Home is Where the Bodies Are by Genevieve Rose. Yeah, I gave this one a 1.5 star. It was very predictable. And I don't really like thrillers that are predictable because I just lose interest and I'm like, oh, really? Like, got it. It's almost like every time I read like a thriller marriage book, it's always the husband cheating. I'm like, y'all couldn't think of anything else. Like, he had a twin brother that was actually the one causing havoc, but you were blaming your real husband. Like something. Maybe I should write books. I should write books. The next one I listened to is Funny Story by Emily Henry. And let me tell you, 5 stars. My only note says, I love this book so much. I am jumping on the Emily Henry bandwagon. I don't know where I've been. I've never been a hater. I just never really paid attention to her books until I read, I forgot what you are. I don't know if I own any by her physically, but oh, Happy Place, I like that book too, I think. Oh my God. It's so hard because like sometimes remembering books that you read, you almost like glorify them in a way that like current you or current time or present you was like, no. But I listened to Funny Story and I loved it. It was such a good rom-com book with some like real life, oh that sucks type of things or situations. But I loved the characters. I loved their situation that they ended up in the beginning or throughout the whole book because of just the circumstances that they both were going through together but separately. I loved it. It was just a cute, feel good. There's parts where you're like, oh dang, that sucks. But like feel good books, I just love. So I gave that a 5 out of 5. I loved it. It was great. The next book I listened to is going to shock you guys because I think in my last book vlog, I was like, I am taking a break from you. I read The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden, and surprisingly, I didn't give it 0 stars. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5, and my notes say, usually I can see the twist a mile away. This time I only realized it seconds before it was revealed, so not bad. I like that the book ended on a cliffhanger. I'm not going to read that last sentence because it's going to be a, guess we'll never know. Oh, guess we'll never know. And then in quotes, a spoiler that I can't read, but it's so funny. I actually really enjoyed this book. Of course, I feel like in her book, she always has like this main character that is just so dumb that they just aren't doing the things that a normal person of any intelligence would do. Like, this one wasn't too bad. This one, the wife, she was very like, nah, it's you type of thing, which surprised me. I thought the whole time the book was going to be her ignoring these big signs of things that were like, girl. But no, she actually didn't. I will say, because I didn't see the twist coming, it already gave it like a star, a star or 2 for me, because that's good. I read so many thrillers that usually I can see the thriller ending, the plot twist, all of it. This time I couldn't, up until I remember I was reading and I read a sentence and I was like, oh, and then it was revealed and I was like, holy crap, like you got me. Like a second before is still getting me in my opinion. So I thought that was good. The next book I read was Undercover Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. And I will say I read the first book, which is called The Bromance Book Club. I loved The Bromance Book Club. I thought it was the cutest, I guess, rom-com, or just, I don't know, I loved it. I loved the kind of issues that they were having in their marriage and how it wasn't just like a quick fix, or it wasn't like, it actually showed the frustrations of both parties in I think in a healthy way and in a way that made sense, where you could see why husband was irritated and frustrated, you could see why wife was irritated and frustrated, and you could see that both of them were trying to be good parents and trying to be just good to each other while also not really knowing how they felt about each other. I think that's a good description. I will say in the first book, one character that I did not like was, I forgot her name, the main character, or the wife, her sister, Liv. That's the sister's name. I didn't like her. I think in my notes I wrote, I was like, she's being a hater. And I get it, like when your girlfriends and your sister like are going through some dating relationship stuff, you're always team your girl, your sister, all that. But she was doing it to the point of being like, ugh, she just irritated me. So I was thinking maybe in the second book, it being based on like her perspective of not that situation, but her own situation with another main character, I would be like, okay, maybe, redeem yourself, and maybe you were just a tough cookie on, I think his name was Gavin, because, obviously team your sister. I get it. My notes. I really didn't like Liv's character. I really disliked her in the first book in the series, and here she's less insufferable, but still insufferable enough to be annoying. She's self-righteous and a know-it-all. She ruined the book. But who's the guy? Braden Mack. I really liked Braden Mack. I feel like he carried the story. I feel like, I don't know, I liked Braden. He wasn't perfect, but I feel like there was one part at the end of the book, or near the end, where he was basically crucified by Liv for something that he didn't do, and he only maybe like lied about to just protect himself. Because once you figure out what it is, it's not something anyone's gonna wear like a badge of honor. So for Liv to kind of crucify him, it's not like maybe he lied about something that you could be like, you could have just told me. The thing that maybe he lied about or kept from her, which I mean, you guys not just met, but like, still just met. how do you even, like, how does that even come up in conversation? Like, hey, I want to tell you this thing about my family history. Like, I understand completely why he didn't want to share. And the fact that Liv was just so upset that he didn't share and he lied was just so jarring to me. Like, I feel like her character was just so jarring and negative. Like, oh my god, I didn't like her. I'm so sorry. And then one thing I also didn't like about the book, the Russian shtick, I'm trying, you know how you say it, isn't funny anymore. Like, I mean, I don't even think it was really funny in the first book, but it was just maybe something to like add some type of entertainment. But like it going on, they just kind of write the Russian, which I hate that he doesn't have a name. I think that's kind of rude. They write it like he's a bumbling idiot type of thing, like some of the stuff that he does. I don't get it, and I'm hoping that if I read book 3, which I think I have like on hold on Libby, he's not in it, number 1, without a name, and number 2, as a bumbling idiot, because it's kind of overplayed. Like, I just think that's rude. Like, we can give him a name. He's not just the Russian. Like, he has a name, I'm sure, or can have a name. And also, why is he a bumbling idiot? Like, they quite literally write him like, because the whole group of guys in this book club are like professionals, entrepreneurs, like they all are, I forgot how they said it, like, not high society people, but like pillars in the society. Like, some are professional athletes, some are business owners, entrepreneurs, like they own stuff in the city. So I'm just like, if this guy's a part of the group, how is he a bumbling idiot? Granted, I know everyone can have whatever, but I don't know. I just didn't really like that. I hope it's kind of played out. It wasn't really funny to begin with, if you're listening, Miss Adams. Those are all the books that I read and listened to. November, I'm not even gonna do a TBR, because have I stuck to any of my TBRs so far? No. I will say December's TBR, I am definitely sticking to it, because it's going to be all Christmas themed books, all holiday themed books. I currently have 2. If I see any more out when I'm thrifting, grabbing them. But yeah, so I think the plan for today is I'm going to probably grab another coffee to go. We're going to head out. I'm probably going to stop by Half Price Books or Goodwill, or maybe both if I have time. And then I have an HEB pickup order for just oat milk and habaneros, nothing too crazy. I don't need any groceries right now. I have all my magnets on the fridge or the freezer so I can see what I have, what I need, what I can make, which has been amazing. I did order more. Of course I did. Brought her home. You can see I have it plugged in, and I'm testing her. I don't know why I'm calling her, but you know, I'm testing her on low to see if it actually works. I was hoping that there was an indicator, you know, like a red light, but you know, this is a vintage crock pot. I don't even know what year this is from. I'm actually gonna Google it. These were like $40–50 online on like eBay, not Etsy, I forgot the other one, Poshmark, people like reselling them. And you know, I got this for $6.99. So if this works on either setting, I will be the happiest camper ever. I've been wanting a crock pot, but I just didn't buy one, honestly. And they're not super expensive. You can find different pricings for different sizes, but I don't know. The universe knew, I hope this works. The universe knew that there was one waiting for me. So I'm so excited. I hope she works. I have her plugged in, and I'm just, you know, just hoping that she starts to warm up here in a bit. But the lid, I haven't washed her anything yet, because I figured to wash her and disinfect, I'll need to take the sticker off. And they told me to keep the sticker on if I want to return it in case it doesn't work. So I figured testing it would be the smartest thing to do first. And then if it works, I will disinfect. The only thing I noticed, and I'm gonna Google to make sure, this part, the glass part that holds the food, doesn't come off. I'm gonna double check, but I tried to slightly pull it up and it didn't work. I don't want to break it, but this doesn't come up like the newer ones that we have today, or that are made today, come up. But again, $6.99, guys, $6.99. So again, I think she's heating up. Guys, she's heating up! This is such a vintage thrift score. I cannot believe this, guys. Oh my goodness, she's heating up. We're gonna have some crock pot meals coming in the future. This is such a win. I'm so glad I went to Goodwill today. Yes, she's getting warm. This is such a great find. Okay guys, I also want to quickly go through the books that I got from Goodwill today. One is a book that I said, I think 2 or 3 vlogs ago, that I don't own it, but I love the movie, and if I could thrift a book, I would be so happy. And of course, the universe was listening today when I went out, just like with the crock pot, and I got it. The first book I have is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and I just love the way this book looks. I like the red and black so much, it's so pretty. And then the back, I'll zoom in so you guys can give it a quick read if you want. The second book I have is Ghost Stories by M.R. James. I just like the way this cover looks, I'll be honest with you. And Ghost Stories, gonna be either spooky, creepy, something. I don't know how scary it will be because I don't know if this is more of like a lightweight ghost stories or one of those books that just creeps you the heck out. But I got this and I'm really excited to read this. Again, I don't know if this will be a this year read or maybe I'll save it for next October since, you know, spooky season is kind of over. I mean, it's November, it's not really spooky season anymore, which is crazy. But I got this. And then the last book I got is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I just said that I was hoping I could find this book thrifted, and funny enough, I walk in, I'm looking around, I find this book, and in hardcover, which I prefer paperback, but honestly, a hardcover in a book like this, or for a book like this, is still a score. I mean, honestly, any book that I want to read in a hardcover is still a score for me. So I am a happy camper. I feel like I did so good today. It's not a huge thrift haul, but I feel like it's pretty solid. I mean, I got some good books, and I got a crock pot, and I'm actually testing it on high right now after it passed the low setting, which is really exciting. And then I only got one more thing, and it's some pajama bottoms that I wasn't gonna get, but then I thought about the holiday season and I thought, you know, and actually because they are very holiday, not themed, but you know, I'm gonna save them for a holiday vlog. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the vlog here. I'm not gonna do much except for clean and disinfect this crock pot, finish editing, and just tidy up a little bit more, clean up the living room. But I'm probably gonna hang out on the couch with the cats for a little bit because they're napping. They've been napping for hours. I kind of want to hang out with them. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe, stick around. I've been uploading every Sunday consistently for the last, I think, 2 or 3 months, which has been really nice and makes me feel really good, especially because I know you guys are watching. And then I'm trying to throw in a few random vlogs maybe throughout the week, especially as the holiday season gears up. I feel like it would be really fun. And I know this time of the year is very busy, so it might be nice to have a few more videos that you can throw on in the background and listen to, or I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for being here. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you guys next Sunday.